Hey guys, what is up? It is Mackenzie. Welcome back to the pack. And today I think I already posted a short on YouTube on this poster, but if you guys haven't seen that video, you should go see that video. This is the full video on it. So first I'm going to start off with this row, starting with origins. So, this is how I started out as a Therian. I mean, I didn't know I was a Therian, but this is basically when my antics or behavior started emerging. Okay, my wolf-like antics began when I was 3, scratching behind my ear like a dog. When I was in 2nd grade, I used to make up stories that I was part wolf, and my parents still make fun of me to this day, which meaning that they kind of like joke around about it. I was bullied constantly in the 7th grade. Everyone used to bark at me, call me a furry, and push and shove me. But the bullying did not stop me. Because once I found out I was a Therian, it all made sense to me. And I just didn't really care about the haters. So now we're going to do awakenings. So up at the top, I put the definition of it. When a Therian experiences an awakening, that means that they find out they are a Therian and it all makes sense to them. So basically they'll hits them in the head, be like, oh my gosh, I'm a Therian. So here's how my awakening went down. When I was at UTMC, I was talking with a girl named Emma. She was one of the patients there. I was talking about my animalistic behavior, which is basically the animalistic behavior I was experiencing all the time, and then she told me I was a Therian. I stayed up all night that night thinking about it, and it hit me. I am a Therian. It literally made so much sense to me that I literally found out I was a Therian because I do experience wolf-like behaviors, and I do believe I was a wolf in my past life, because when it started hitting to me, when it hit me, I literally kept having memories and dreams about it. So now we're gonna go to vocals. Therians practice a form of speech called vocals. I mean, it's not a form of speech per se. It's more or less like depending on the feeling that you're feeling right there, then you do a certain sound that animal makes. So depending on your stereotype, aka the animal you psychologically identify as, you do certain ones. Since I'm a wolf, I normally bark, growl, whimper, etc. And then now for gear. So some Therians like to wear gear to connect with their stereotype. Depending on what you like to wear, either ears, tails, collars, something like that. But as a wolf Therian myself, I like to wear ears, a tail, a collar, etc. Some other things I like to wear is sometimes I do makeup, I do some other things. I like to wear my gloves, I like to wear necklaces. It's a big thing. I can't even speak right now. Okay, so now we're going to do the ways to connect. Well, specifically for wolf Therian, since I am one myself. Number 1, you can wear gear. You don't have to wear gear to be a Therian. You don't, have to wear it if it doesn't feel like you're expressing yourself. That is totally fine, though. But one way I do it is by wearing gear. Also, use scent markers or use scent marking if your stereotype is territorial, such as a wolf. So you can either make your own. I do have a video on my other channel, Max Wolfpack A New Pack. I will tag it in the video if I can. I do not know if I will be able to, but if I can, just look up Max Wolfpack, and it should be Max Wolfpack A New Pack. So on that channel, I have a video on how to make a scent marker. That is why I use scent markers as one of the ways to connect with your stereotype. Number 3, try vocals, which is growling and barking for me. It doesn't really have to be for all Therians. You don't have to do vocals, but that's how I like to connect. Normally though I do growling, barking, whimpering, etc. Same thing I always said with the vocals. But for some other Therians, doesn't matter what their stereotype is. Say if you are a cat Therian, then you would mostly do growling, meowing, hissing, stuff like that. Number 4, try quadrobics or walking on all fours. You do not have to do quadrobics to be a Therian, because I see a lot on TikTok of doing quadrobics, and most people believe that if you do quadrobics, then you are a Therian. But that is not entirely the case, because that if you do quadrobics, that doesn't automatically mean you're a Therian. You either can believe that you like to do quadrobics because it helps you express yourself. Number 5, be outdoors. It actually helps your stereotype, or it helps you like connect with your stereotype, because like being outdoors really can like make yourself feel free to be out in the wild. It doesn't even matter if you live by a forest or if it's even your own backyard. Just be outdoors. It really helps. Also, you can play with your pets too. Like it'll be like really fun though if you play with other animals or like certain beings that kind of like relate to you in some sort of way. Because of what I'm saying is that sometimes I like to play with my dog, and that actually kind of helps me though. And the reason that, since like I identify as a wolf, and even though when she is an Australian Shepherd, she looks like a wolf to me sometimes. Just a really fat one. Number 7, play games related to your stereotype. Like you can either like run outside, play certain games. Like it doesn't really matter what you can do. It just like matters like what you want to do. I mean, you don't have to do any of these to connect, but one thing that I like to do is just to play games. Like I like to run around, have fun. And finally, or not finally, but eat things that your stereotype would eat. Like you can make a diet based on theirs. But that doesn't mean that, like, since you identify as a wolf, that you have to go out and eat raw meat. That doesn't really matter. But, I mean, like, any kind of meat, if, like, you're a wolf Therian, it really helps. Like, either, it doesn't really matter, though. It can be, like, chicken, steak, pork. Doesn't even really matter. It just, like, it helps you connect. And finally, build a den. I actually do have a den over in my closet right now, but I don't use it right now because I am trying to get my room cleaned. As you can see, I am in the process of cleaning it up. So now we are moving on to shifts. So when a Therian experiences shifts, they start to feel urges or some sort of instincts relating to their stereotype. So my shifts that I experience is random biting or chewing. Also, I do quadrobics at random, same with barking. So sometimes when I feel like I'm like just like randomly walking in my house, like or like down the hallway, I will immediately get on all fours and just start running. And now we're moving on to the other side. So this is a big thing in the Therian community, and it is that some people believe that furries and Therians are the same thing, when really they're not. So this is why I made a subject just based on this controversy or this misconception. So first we're going to start with furries. Furries are people who have an interest in anthropomorphic animals or animals with human characteristics, such as talking, walking on 2 legs, or something like wearing clothes. And they like to dress up as their own character or persona. Like how like most furries, like they like to wear fursuits of their own character. But Therians are completely different. Therians are people who believe in somewhat, or in some way, that they are psychologically connected with animals. You don't have to be connected with any sort of animal. I mean, you have, I mean, not really have to. It's kind of confusing to me still, because I'm relatively new to the Therian community, but it's normally, though, like, you can't be just directly connected to an animal. That doesn't automatically make you a Therian. Their stereotype is the animal or animals that they psychologically identify as. So just as if I as I'm aware of, my only stereotype is a wolf, which means I identify as a wolf. Also, what is a Therian, you might ask? A Therian is someone who psychologically identifies as one or more animals. Therians also experience animal-like behaviors, such as urges, instincts, etc. Their stereotype is the animal or animals that they identify as. Some Therians believe that they were that animal in a past life. Also, that you do not have to believe that you have a past life like I do sometimes, but you can just do your own thing though, but just because that you believe that you have a past life does not automatically mean you're a Therian, because Therianthropy is not directly a past life. But not all Therians think this. Some Therians believe they were born with the spirit of that animal. So what I wrote here is that sometimes, like, when you experience species dysphoria, like, sometimes, like, you believe that you can see yourself as that animal sometimes. Such as either, like, you see ears in the mirror when you're not wearing any, or, like, you feel, like, phantom ears. Like, I'm wearing my ears right now, but, like, sometimes I feel like my ears are right there. And sometimes when I curl up my hand like this, it looks like a paw to me. And here are, like, finally, the rules or misconceptions of Therianthropy. Number 1, you do not choose to be a Therian. You don't, like, just because that, like, it looks fun, it's not really that fun at all, to be honest. I mean, sure, there are some parts, or some parts of being a Therian, like, you can, like, literally live your life as a Therian and not be, like, judged about it. But it's also hard for some Therians because they feel like that they do not, they feel like that they do not express themselves right, or they feel like that they shouldn't express themselves or else they'll get judged for it. Like, just like, you know, I cannot, like, find my voice today. I'm, like, very stuttery. Like, excuse me for that. Okay, so number 2, furries and Therians are not the same thing. Like how we explained in the furry versus Therian comparison, they are not the same person. And Therianthropy is not a I forgot what it was called, but like a subculture of furries, because that we both like furries and Therians are completely different. I mean, I'm new to the Therian community. I'm only like 8 months as a Therian right now. But, like, if you just want to, like, this is all my opinion on Therianthropy. But if you want to, you can just do your own research. Number 3, we don't believe we are animals physically, okay? So, basically, though, that we do identify as animals, but not physically. Like, hold on, let me explain this real quick. So, Therianthropy is basically, like, so I said this before in a few other subjects, that you identify as an animal psychologically on a non-physical level, because that just because we act like animals does not mean that we believe that we are animals physically. Number 4, you do not have to believe you had a past life. Just because that you feel like you had a past life does not mean that, like, you can be a Therian. I mean, well, of course you could be a Therian if you believe that you have a past life, but you feel like that you experience those urges or, like, any other feeling of an animal. Number 5, Therianthropy is not associated with roleplay. It is not in any way. Just because that we like to express ourselves by acting like animals, it does not associate with roleplay or, like, furries at all. Because, of course, that furries, they like to dress up as their own characters and like to do their own thing. And also, one rule or misconception that I wanted to put on this list, but I didn't have enough room for it, is that Therianthropy is not a mental disorder, okay? Just because that we think that we're animals mentally or psychologically does not believe that it's a mental disorder. It's a lifestyle. But it is also an identity, which means that you identify as that animal. And also you don't have to, but, like, you experience being an animal. And that is the entire poster. So, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and basically, though, this is a pretty long video. I do not know when this will be up, but when it will be. Hopefully, though, I don't want to get a lot of hate for it, but hopefully, though, that y'all will like this poster. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, wolves. Arrgh!